hypothetical values. These are not my actual earnings or expenses. All these values are not accurate and actual. Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Ray, and on this video I am going to talk about how I track my expenses, my income, my credit card payments, my account transfers, bank account transfers, and my finances in general. This tracker helps me track in both PHP or Philippine peso and US dollar currencies, because for me personally, I earn, I spend, and I invest in these two types of currencies. Although you could still use this template even if you just use one currency. You can use it for two, you can use it for three or more. So it's easy to update this template depending on your needs, and I hope this template works for you. By the way, I am using Google Sheets. I love Google Sheets, I love Google Drive, Google Suite. This is where I keep my photos, my documents, my trackers. I keep everything organized here. On this demo, I am not going to show you the actual values of my tracker because I'd like to keep them private. So the numbers or values I will be using here are all hypothetical, just for sample purposes only. You do need to update your tracker regularly for your data to be accurate. Personally, what I do is I set an alarm on my cell phone at 9 o'clock p.m. every day, and it says there update finance tracker. You could do the same thing, although I don't necessarily need it right now because it's part of my routine that every time I spend or I earn or I invest, I automatically update my tracker. This helps remind you to update it consistently. So tune in, because at the end of this video, I am going to share with you for free this template that I made in order for you guys to track your own expenses as well. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so let's go over the Google Sheet. Let's start with this first tab. It's called Transactions. This is mainly what you should update. We have the date, the category, description, merchant, type, amount in PHP or whatever currency, amount in USD. Account, this account is where you got the money from, or what account you used to pay or to credit or to debit this transaction. CCID stands for credit card ID, and then just remarks. Okay, so for this, I made a drop down for category, type, and account. You'll see that I have a reference over here which lists the type of categories and accounts that you have and types. Okay, so for categories, I have your credit cards, transportation, others. You can even add here debt payment, business if you own a business, business 1, business 2, or you know the name of your business, business 3, salary if you're employed, different types of accounts that you own, credit cards, checks, banks, e-wallets, everything, where you store your money in, and type. It's either expense, investment, income, and not applicable. I'm going to discuss to you when these things are used. So these types are very important because it will determine the values or the result of your summaries. I have sample here of 2021 summary, 2021 year-end account balance. So this is just showing you multiple years. So if next year 2023 starts, just make another duplicate of these two tabs. Transfers is when I transfer from one account to another. For example, last January 2, 2022, I transferred from account PAYONEER to my BPI account, so it's in USD, and I indicate here that the actual amount is 49 889. This transactions sheet is mainly what you are going to update, and it affects all the other sheets. So be as accurate as possible here. For the categories, like I said earlier, you can see here what you've placed on the references tab, and the description, be as specific as possible. If you need to break down whatever you bought or whatever you earned. Merchant is the name of the merchant, of course, where you bought that item from or what company you've earned something from. And the type, this is where you select either expense. So expense is something you spent money on. Income is where you gained money. And investment, this is neutral, meaning this doesn't deduct or it doesn't add to your account, unless of course, because when you invest, it's still paper loss or paper gain, right? For example, I earn in the investment and then I pull it out, that's the time I place it as an income. Or if I pull out and then I lose money, that's the time I place it as an expense. Also here is NA. I'm going to explain this later when you use this type. And the amount, of course, in PHP, the amount in USD, if in USD or if in PHP, the account which was used. So the NA type is used when, for example, you load something, right? For example, we use a Starbucks card. When we load a Starbucks card, it is considered an expense. For example, I loaded 500 pesos on my Starbucks card using cash, and then I went to Starbucks again and I used my Starbucks card to pay. I will not list that as an expense anymore, because if I do, it will be deducted on my total account value, which I do not want because I've already deducted 500 by loading the card. So I placed NA and 190, and the account I used is a Starbucks card. So this 190 will not be deducted from my total account. Okay, so similar to like Shopee Pay or anything we load. Okay, by the way, there are some sample data here that may be true or may not be true, because I had to gather data and I had to get it from my real cash tracker, but I've deleted a lot here. I've edited some values, I've edited some merchants, some descriptions. These are just for demonstration purposes. For the CCID, this is how I track my credit card payments. Here, these are sample data, but for the sake of explaining to you guys how I use this, I am going to show you how I list down my credit card payments based on one of my actual statement of accounts. Let us use my BDO account, my BPI, sorry. So this is how I track my payments. When my statement of account arrives, I check the items I purchased or the items that were billed to me one by one. And if I see it in the transactions tracker, that means it's accurate. I actually purchased this item. When I open my statement of account, I see here Super Bowl, and the cost is 535.05. So what I do is I search for like the amount 535.05. So I can see there, yes, I spent 535.05 using my credit card BPI, and then I assign a CCID. So for every statement of account, I have an assigned CCID. Since my last CCID was BPI 003, and this is my BPI credit card, I place my next ID or my next item as BPI _ 004. And my statement date, for example, is September 16, 2021. Account is BPI, and total points, I can see it in my SOA. Let's say it's 15,000. And the amount, according to my statement of account, is 5156.67. And so once I input all these data, I compare them, okay? So 535, that is confirmed, BPI 004. Next item is SM Baguio, the SM store, worth 1467.67. So again, I search 1467.75, confirmed, I use my BPI credit card, and then I place it 004. Then I check the next item, Robinson's 1144. 1144. Yes, BPI credit card. So BD BPI 004. And then I check the next one, 454. Confirmed. I have that on my list. 1380. Again, I have it on my list. 175. I have that on my list. Okay, so it's confirmed that everything listed on my statement of account is really the things I've purchased before. So I can confirm that by filtering this. So BPI 004, and the total is 5,156.7. Does it match my statement of account? Yes, it does. So I have no problem with my statement of account for this month. Now, once I finished checking everything, I go back to the credit card payments, and then I pay it. Well, I pay all my credit cards through bank transfer, online transfer. For example, I paid it using this, my online BPI account. I paid it, let's say, September 16, 2021, the same time I received the statement of account, and I mark it as paid. Okay, by the way, a tip for using credit cards: the reason why I use credit cards is so that I can increase my credit score by showing the bank that I can pay on time. Every time I use my credit card, I pay the full amount every month, so I won't earn interest. And another reason why I get credit cards is because we earn points using these credit cards, and that will help us save in a way as well. So you should also know how your bank calculates the number of points when you use the credit card, because for example, BDO, the points here are calculated by converting every 1,000 peso in a single purchase to 1 point. So every 1,000 pesos is 1 point, not accumulated. Like my total bill in BDO is 5,000, but then the breakdown is like 500 pesos for one purchase, 800 pesos for another purchase, 700 for another purchase. So I don't exactly reach 1,000 per purchase, but then my total statement of account is 5,000 pesos. That does not count as 5 points. It's not the total statement of account, it's per purchase. That's why whenever my purchases reach 1,000 plus, that is the time I use my BDO. But then if it's just less than 1,000, I don't use it because I won't be earning points that way. Okay, so that's just a tip. You should learn how your credit card converts your purchases into points. Once you have this populated, it generates this summary. You can see here your total income monthly and annually. So this is your total income, total expense, and total investment annually. And this is your balance. So balance is total income minus expenses. It will turn green if your income is greater than your expense, and it will turn red or negative if your expenses are more than your income. Okay, so for this data that we have a total of 78,442.67 income, expense is 37,115.14, and investment is 4,292.93. This is just for peso. Now for USD, it's the same. You can also see here the same results, and these are separate, okay? USD and PHP are separate. This portion shows your total account values if you combine PHP and USD. Okay, so for example, I can see that my total income is 1.6 million, total expense is 445,000, and total amount I place investment is 51,000. So total account value for if I combine my USD and PHP earnings in peso, since I want it to be in peso, is 1.199 million. Whenever we convert, the actual values are different from each other, right? That's why I place here the estimated conversion value of these two currencies from PHP to USD. You can change this. For example, it became 50. Change that to 50, so approximate value is 1.2 million, but I usually just place it in 49, more or less. So this is the amount that I know I currently have, because usually my USD, I don't really convert them immediately, but then I'd like to know how much I actually have in total. So yeah, that's why I do this part. And below you can see the graph, a bar graph and a pie graph. You can see graphically or visually how big your expenses, investments, or income are. So that goes the same for 2022 summary. And for the year balance, list down all my accounts here. Again, these are not real data, these are sample data. I place all my accounts here, even e-wallets or anything where I store my money in. This does not include investments, by the way. At the end of the year, like December 31, 2021 or January 1 of the next year, I check my account balance in all my accounts and I place the total amount I have per account. So at the end of the year, I know how much money I actually have in the bank. Okay, again, this does not include investments. These are actually money on hand, may be considered as emergency funds or leisure funds. Again, you can do that for the next year. All you have to do is select these two, 2022 summary and year-end account balance, right click and hit duplicate, and then just change that to 2023 data, 2023, then just change these values. 2023, don't forget to change the years on these months, because if you don't, it will extract the data from the previous years, which we don't want to happen. Okay, just change everything to 2023, even these 2023. You place your data still here on this same sheet under the transactions sheet. So you can see here I have 2021 data and 2022 data, but this 2021 summary only gets the data from 2021. This gets the data only from 2022, and so on. And of course, if you use this for several years already, you can just hide the sheets so that it won't look messy and just show the current sheets you're working on. So there you go. That explains this tracker I made. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope this will help you track your finances as well. This is the link to the tracker. If you have any questions or anything is unclear, please comment down below so I can help you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified for more content similar to these. Thank you guys. Bye.